April showers bring May flowers, and it also means spending more time outside after we've been cooped up inside after a long winter. So your goal this spring may also be wanting to spend more time outside with your kids. But what activities are there? To help us answer this question, we're bringing in Red Door Pediatric Therapy's Brianna Middlestead. So good morning to you, Brianna.
Good morning.
Good morning. So it's getting nicer outside. How does the spring season help our kids out?
Sure. We are breaking these activities down into three categories. So focus on occupational therapy, physical therapy, and then speech therapy. So first, we'll talk a little bit about occupational therapy. Again, our focus is those fine motor skills, some sensory processing, as well as visual skills. The first activity that we like to focus on is chalk. These are great activities for kiddos. They can focus on that tactile or touch sensory piece. Not all kids like their hands dirty. You can also work on things like visual skills, like doing circles or line down, line across. It's always a great activity for kiddos to get involved in outside.
Does that also come, sometimes you as the parent can take your kid's hand and go along with the chalk and draw around it? Is that kind of learning or following directions?
Both. A lot of kiddos, if they're starting out with both pre-motor skills or pre-writing skills, you might have to do hand-over-hand assistance to do those line over, line down circles so that they are learning that motor movement.
Absolutely. You have another one here, gardening and planting flowers. I think all kids like to see their own things grow. So how does that help out a kid's development?
We do. Again, with those fine motor skills, they're working on swooping and dumping, as well as working on some of those sensory processing abilities, tolerating their hands getting dirty. A lot of kiddos struggle with that, but working on planting flowers and gardening really works on that skill as well.
It takes some physical use, meaning it burns a kid out sometimes. It is hard work. So you lose some energy out there. All right, one of my favorite things that I really remember as a kid is I Spy.
Yes, kiddos love I Spy. This can be paired with some speech therapy as well. So really describing the characteristics of objects. So for instance, a butterfly or a bee, mud, puddles, trees, all those things can kind of tie in together, working on visual motor skills as well as those language skills.
Does this also take the spring season as something, say we're going from winter to spring, we're not used to saying flowers all the time in spring. Is that a different child development area as well?
Yeah, working on those vocabulary words too. I mean, many kiddos are learning that as they get older, what different things are. So being like, oh, what is that? Or that flower is pink. Trying to describe those characteristics will help a child grow and develop with their language and vocabulary skills too.
So we talked about playing I Spy, and not too far away is a scavenger hunt. What's the difference between those two?
Yeah, the scavenger hunt really keeps the child busy and engaging for looking for things, using those visual motor and visual perceptual skills. So, for instance, have them find a rock, have them find a pine cone, maybe look for a dandelion. It's really getting those visual skills built alongside those fine motor skills too.
Absolutely. So motor skills, let's expand on that in the physical side, because being outdoors, you do burn a lot of energy sometimes.
You do, certainly. In regards to just spring activities, you can do a lot of poses, yoga poses for kiddos related to spring. So the flower pose, the tree pose, the butterfly pose. There's also a lot of animal walks that kids love too. The squirrel run, the bunny hop, all things like that are great activities.
Absolutely. And it's all fun too, brings smiles, especially if you play with some siblings. All right, hopscotch, that's another active one.
That's a great one. You can do hopscotch and obstacle courses together, working on jumping and skipping, and then even drawing an obstacle course with your chalk would be a great activity for your child too. Obstacle courses on the street or on curb, they're really, really great for kiddos too, as they're working on some of those motor skills.
Absolutely. Now I take the next one here, depending on a kid's age, but bike riding?
Yes, bike riding. You can grade that according to the child's age. If they're not able to ride their bike, maybe it's their strider or maybe it's their little car, or the older kids on a bike with training wheels or a bike with not training wheels.
Absolutely. And then kind of going along with bike riding, there's different sports options.
Yes, Yes, most certainly. Every kid loves a good sport option too. Soccer is a good one, basketball. All those activities are really great to get outside and just enjoy the nice weather.
Love that. We are down to one more minute here, but the last one is speech therapy. So vocabulary, like flowers, I take it.
Yes, yeah, we talked a little bit about that one earlier, similar to I Spy. So these would be describing the objects that are around you so the child can learn and build on that vocabulary, as well as discuss descriptive words. So in regards to the weather, think about breezy, cool, warm, hot, really trying to teach those kids those descriptive characteristics.
And of course, the weather words are one of my favorites. I have to put that plug in there. But the last
Got it.
one here is following directions.
Those are always great things to do. So if a child is outside playing, jumping, skipping, all those direction following skills are really, really great to build some of those language skills.
I love that. And all of this, Brianna, puts you outside with you and your kids. It's learning and you're just burning a lot of energy. We love all of this, Brianna. Where can we find more information about Red Door Pediatric Therapy?
Yes, you can head to our website, reddoorpediatric.com, and you'll find our information for all 4 of our locations there.
Easy enough. Brianna Middlestead from Red Door Pediatric Therapy. Thank you again for joining us here.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. All right, keep it here. We're going to return back to North Dakota today right after this.